young people who have ideas, young people who have business ventures, young people who have startups are facing a lot of challenges. And one of those challenges is access to finance. I don't know about your countries, but from where you're coming from, access to finance is one of the challenges that young people are facing in so many things that they're doing. So this morning, I'll be moderating a session with my colleagues from Malawi on this theme, just to talk about entrepreneurship, youth in trade, access to finance. What are the challenges? What are the solutions? Where are the gaps? How do we bridge those gaps? How can we solve those challenges? So allow me to invite Miss Judith Nsusa, who is the Director of Youth in the Ministry of Youth and Sports in Malawi, to come forward and take a seat. A round of applause for Madam Judith Nsusa. Let me also welcome to the stage Taonga Chunda, who is a program officer for UNDP in Malawi under the Zantchito program. He will tell us what is Zantchito when he comes. Mr. Taonga Chunda, please step forward. A round of applause. Let me also invite one of our vibrant young people. She's a brand. We call her a brand. Her brand is House of Zandria. Her name is Zandria, a fashion designer. Step forward, please. A round of applause. Let me also call Chioneteo Chingoli from UNDP, program analyst at UNDP, to step forward. A round of applause, please. So, as I said, this session is about, it's a discussion. We'll be discussing about youth in trade, entrepreneurship, and most importantly, access to finance. And as I said, where you come from in Malawi, access to finance is one of the challenges, the biggest challenge for that matter. A lot of ideas are dying young. They're dying in their infancy. They're dying even before being born because of lack of access to finance. And it's a big challenge. I know it's also a big challenge from where they're coming from. And I think it's worth discussing. It's worth having these guys sitting down, discuss about solutions, discuss about ideas, discuss about the programs that they've set in Malawi that they're implementing. We think it is important to share these ideas, but also we think it is important to learn from other countries, from you, how you're doing it, how you're solving issues of access to finance. I'll start with the Director of Youth, Madam Judith Nsusa. Just share with us, what is the government doing? What are you doing in Malawi, considering that every initiative takes place within a specific context? And could you provide insights, an insight or insights into the current context in Malawi? What are the issues for youth that are in trade, that are in entrepreneurship, youth that have ideas, that want to implement ideas and are facing challenges? What are you doing about it? What are the programs? What are the solutions? What are the ideas that you think if we well implemented, will help our young people address these challenges.
Thank you so much, moderator, for the question. I've been requested to provide an overview of youth development, the context in Malawi. So I will share with you the status of youth development and what are some of the interventions that we're doing as a country. So youth development, as some of you may be aware, it's a complex thing. It's a composite of interventions across sectors. If you talk of youth development, you are looking at issues to do with education. You are looking at issues to do with employment. You are looking at issues to do with health, but we are also looking at issues to do with participation, social protection. So it's a composite. It's a sector that has so many partners, because as you may note, it's not just the Ministry of Youth addressing all these issues, but we work with different sectors, with different stakeholders to address the issues. So just in a nutshell, what's the status of youth development? So I can say that as a country, we still continue to face, youth continue to face vulnerabilities in the sectors or in the areas that I've mentioned. In terms of youth employment, we still have issues. Currently, I think unemployment is standing at 26%, but much more among the girls if compared to the boys. In terms of education, again, we are still facing issues in terms of quality and access. We have a lot of young people that are school-going age that are currently out of school. We have young people that are looking for space in the tertiary education, that are looking for space in technical colleges, but cannot find space. In the area of health, we have young people that have challenges in accessing reproductive health services, including issues of mental health. And again, in the area of participation, our policy is very clear that young people need to be included in all decision-making areas or bodies. At least 30% of them should be in decision-making bodies. But we still have challenges in that regard. Of course, all is not lost. As I said, youth development is a composite area. We are working with partners to address issues of unemployment, underemployment. The typical example I think you hear is the Zantchito project that is being financed by European Union, but is being implemented by different partners in the country, including UNDP. They'll talk in detail about what Zantchito is doing, but basically it's trying to provide access to young people in terms of skilling, mentorship, and even access to finance. That's not the only program. We had a program by Africa Development Bank. It was called Jobs for Youth. Malawi was one of the countries that piloted the project. Again, it was working on addressing the bottlenecks to youth employment and skills acquisition. Under Jobs for Youth, government of Malawi expanded training institutions by adding additional teaching and learning classrooms to make sure that we have a lot of young people accessing the skills as they require them. We also had a component on business advisory services. We know there are young people that are into business, but they cannot grow their business on their own. So through the project, we were able to provide mentorship to young people that have businesses to grow their businesses. We also had a component on business incubation, taking young people with business ideas, growing their business ideas, and making them into an enterprise. We were doing all this to ensure that young people are able to create their own jobs, because we realized that our private sector in Malawi is very small. It cannot accommodate, or it cannot employ all young people that are looking for jobs. So the approach that we have taken is to ensure that young people are job creators and not job seekers. So these are some of the interventions that as a country we have been implementing to make sure that young people are supported to become entrepreneurs. On the skills part, we have one of the issues that we are experiencing, as I said, is the issue of access. We have a lot of young people that would want to go to technical skills, but if you look at the spaces that we have, they are very small. Annually, we may receive around 30,000 applications for technical skills, but our technical skills can only absorb around 17,000. So where does the 13,000 go? So as a country, we have expanded alternative learning pathways to ensure that even those that are still looking for opportunities for skills are taken care of. I would give you as one of the best practice is the construction of community technical colleges. These are colleges that are within the communities and they are providing skills that young people require in the communities. But apart from that, we also have informal skills opportunities where we use craftsmen within the communities to provide the skills that young people require for them to go or to do, to become entrepreneurs. So in a nutshell, these are some of the interventions that I can highlight as being done by Malawi government to ensure that young people access skills, young people access services, young people access finance for them to become entrepreneurs. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. She has talked about a lot of initiatives that the government of Malawi has in place to address various challenges that young people are facing. Just to add that we also do have other programs that are supporting access to finance. Although not targeting specifically young people, we have the National Economic Empowerment Fund, where young people can also access loans. As a government, we have tried to ensure that we reduce some of the conditions, like removal of collateral for some loans. We also have other programs like agricultural commercialization, where young people are able to get matching grants. So those are just some of the also programs that we are having as a country in Malawi. But as she was responding, she talked about one of the programs that we have in Malawi, the Zantchito program. Taonga Chunda just wanted you to share with us what is the Zantchito program, what are we doing, how are we implementing the program, what is so unique about the Zantchito program, and what can we learn from it, and how can we improve to ensure that we are reaching as many young people as possible, and we are addressing as many challenges that startups are facing as much as possible. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Williot, for the question and a warm welcome. And yeah, good morning to everybody who is attending our session. Yeah, I feel like the director gave us a great foundation. I think that's even common across most African countries. We have a large youth population, that youth bulge. Youth people, young people that have got great ideas, that have got brilliant minds, but they don't know where to take these ideas to the next level. And for us in Malawi, we have the Zantchito Entrepreneurship and Access to Finance program. So this program is part of the larger Zantchito Skills for Jobs program financed by the European Union. But this component, the component on entrepreneurship and access to finance is co-financed both by UNDP and the European Union. But its main aim is to act as a catalyst, a launch pad for somebody who has an idea to move it forward. Let's imagine I'm a young person that has graduated, let's say, with a degree in biotechnology. I've got an idea where I would like to start extracting banana fiber, as an example. Sorry, I'm using this example because I was moving around the streets and I saw a lot of bananas in Rwanda, yeah? So I would like to extract the banana fiber and then start manufacturing sustainable packaging, but I don't know where to take this idea to. I don't know where I can get the financing. I don't know who can help me to bring this idea to life. And that's what we do under Zantchito. We provide a launch pad for young people like these to have an idea where they could move it forward. Yeah? So what you're seeing there is the Zantchito website. You can easily go on any search engine, type Zantchito Malawi, the website will come up. There are more details that you can learn of the program from there. But yeah, so we provide, more importantly, incubatory support for that business idea to move forward. Currently, we have partnered with 6 business incubators across the whole country in all sectors that you want to have your business to move forward. You talk of agribusiness, as I've just mentioned, extracting banana fiber. We are even working with incubators that are working within the tech sector. But more importantly, these incubators are creating an ecosystem for young minds to come in, bring their ideas forward, and then they could be captivated and commercialized. Because that's what, all young people like me struggle with. But ideas are just ideas without financing, and that's a critical piece that unlocks any idea. And under Zantchito as well, we provide access to finance through a financing facility. So we've partnered with one of the banks in Malawi, that's Standard Bank, to create what we're calling the Zantchito financing facility. And this provides that critical unlocking piece, as I've said, finance, for that business idea to come forward. But this financing does not necessarily mean this is money that's going to come in your pocket. No. It's structured financing for a business to come to take off, for an innovation to take off, to have a prototype, and then move on to the next phases. So it's broken down into 3 under Zantchito. We provide funding of up to $12,500 for somebody who has an idea. Same with the example that I gave earlier of extracting banana fiber. So let's assume, with the same example, you would like to start that idea of sustainable packaging as an example, yes? You receive $2,500 at the very onset for you to come up with a prototype that works for you. Once that is done, you then move on to the incubation phase where we provide young people, young minds. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So we provide in the next phase of incubation $5,000 to young minds that would like now to move forward, test their idea on the market. And then once that is done, they've tested the market, they see, oh, the market is accepting of my idea. We then provide another tranche of support of up to $5,000 for post-incubation. So think of it as the way we play video games, yes? You unlock levels as you move forward with your idea. It's the same way when you're running a business. You don't get full access to financing when your business idea is not ready. And that's how the Zantchito is structured, to follow you and support you throughout your whole entrepreneurial journey to move forward. But the other piece that I really wanted to share with you is we as UNDP in various countries also have the University Innovation Pod Initiative, Unipod. I think there's also an event that's happening in this Youth Connect Summit for the health tech launch for the Unipod here in Rwanda. So with Zantchito, we partnered with innovations or initiatives such as this that allow young people to have a catalyst, provide a pipeline to access these maker spaces. With these ideas that young people have, the young, amazing ideas, the Unipod provides a space, a maker space for those ideas to come to life. And then when you combine that with what we're providing under Zantchito, access to finance, these are the synergies that we're looking for to harvest Africa's ideas for Africa to move forward. And lucky enough, we also do have an entrepreneur in the room with us who is also attending the Youth Connect Summit. We will play a video for you just to appreciate how innovations are being commercialized in Malawi, how businesses are being created in Malawi by young people and young minds. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Taonga, for those insights. A very, very good program that UNDP is implementing with the other stakeholders in the country to ensure that we work with entrepreneurs through their journey, supporting them, ensuring that their ventures are successful. So, my brother, Chiwanisela, what is the growth accelerant entrepreneurship challenge? Another initiative that we also have in Malawi as one way of addressing challenges that young people are facing, and entrepreneurship in trade and other related ventures. What is it? What's so unique? What can we learn from it? And how can we ensure that it is of value to the young people or to the target population, the youth?
All right, thank you so much, moderator. So my name is John Etzelo. Everybody welcome. You know, it's not easy juggling this device. Anyway, so talking about the growth accelerator, I think I'll provide a bit of a background to entrepreneurship space or the ecosystem in Malawi. So, you know, there's this study that's done annually. It's the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor. So there's also a focus that's done within the SADC. In 2017, you know, the entrepreneurship intentions, you know, having done a study, they saw that Malawi really does have a high entrepreneurial appetite. You know, there's so many good ideas, so many people trying to come into entrepreneurship, and with the young ones, but access to, you know, this business development services, finance, opportunities to be able to, you know, get them to life, which I can say almost every entrepreneur, every youth in here knows is a problem across Africa. So we can easily find finance if you're a very big corporate, because obviously you are safe, the due diligence is sound, everything else plays out. But once you are a youth startup, 1 or 2 years in business, it's a very, very big problem. That's when, in 2018, we designed the Growth Accelerator. So we can move to the next. Thank you. The Growth Accelerator was designed as the first ever business acceleration instrument in Malawi. That was in 2018, and since then there have been a number of business acceleration instruments going across different layers, demographic dividends of the youth. Some are giving different ticket sizes and all of that. But we pride ourselves in saying we took the first step, which is very, very important. So what is the Growth Accelerator? So the Growth Accelerator is, like I said, a business acceleration instrument that's targeting impactful youth startups. So by youth startups, we're talking about you know, businesses that have been operating for a year or two, that have a service or a product on the market. They don't really have to be making a profit. We have a stringent process that makes sure that we at least get you know, the best of the best, you know, that can also act as mentors to the preceding cohorts. So this follows also the African Union agenda, you know, to catalyze financing for impactful youth that are addressing development challenges. So this was launched in 2018, working with the Embassy of Norway, currently also working with other development partners. So really, what does this provide? So it provides 3 things. First is a matching grant. I know there was a talk about matching grants even from the technical committee meetings and all of the other meetings. So I'll demystify how we do our model. The second is business development support services. This is the technical assistance. So we realize that everybody wants to get finance. You know, everybody wants money. When you run your business, you want money. But money in itself is not enough. You know, you really, really need support in terms of, you know, how do you do your costing model? How do you do your cost architecture? How do you find the right market? How do you identify the right talent for your business? You know, so these are those soft things that are very important, and we easily miss them because we are just running to get the money, because everybody else just sees the money as the price. And the third thing that we provide is the mentorship. So we understand that for youth businesses to grow, they need mentors, people that have gone through the process, people that understand the process, people that know the obstacles they will face even before the business themselves know what they'll face, which is very important so that you can anticipate instead of being reactive, which in Africa we all do. Problems come and then we struggle, we choke, we die. So on the access to finance, we provide a matching grant of up to $40,000. Which has to be matched by 30%. There was a problem that the team from Lesotho had raised on where are we going to get the matching? If you don't have the matching, what's going to happen? So we partnered with the commercial banks that do provide the matching that goes together with your actual milestones, because we don't just give you the 40,000 and go and run around. We break it down to ensure that we manage your business and also you manage your risk appetite. You have to meet certain milestones, just like Tawonga had said, meet certain milestones to unlock the second one. These are usually 3, and they are more catalytic. And also we pair them together with the technical assistance so that as you learn and change and you grow in your business, you should also be able to adapt, because your changes might be different. It happens all the time. You want to buy 10 cows, you realize that it's going to cost you more. Now you just have to find somebody else who can supply, but you want to be able to control the quality, right? So as you grow and your mind also grows, we help you unlock the financing in phases. We sit down with you, we develop the logic model, we know how much impact you're going to generate, we know how much revenue you might generate. Of course, that is never cast in stone, but at least we project, we see who you're going to target, and then we move to the next step. So we have these partnerships with the banks to ensure that you don't struggle. But of course, we don't force you to take this money from the banks, in as much as we lobby for them to be as concessional as possible, but at the end of the day, they're a bank. So you can even get the financing from development finance institutions, microfinance. We also have equity partners. You can discuss. I know equity is very difficult in Africa, especially in Malawi, because everybody wants to own their business by themselves. They don't want to lose a part of their soul. So really, we try to create all of these options for you so that it's easier for you to navigate. So the second component of the business development service, technical assistance, we have a 6-month phased cohort where we train you every month for like 2 days. You come in, you develop your growth targets, you move across those sprints, and then you get to the other part where we have to do this, what we call ecosystem events. So ecosystem events brings together all business enablers. I know we have the Revenue Authority, we have the Ministry of Trade that does certifications, we have all of these enablers, the Bureau of Standards. So we try to bring all of this together, and then they share knowledge with you so that it's easy for you to even trade outside. That you are acceptable, and then you have all the knowledge, so that by the end of the 24 months that we are together, you must have all the required knowledge. So that really just provides a bit of a synopsis in the Growth Accelerator. What I can also add really on the Growth Accelerator is that the mentorship has been designed in a way that we have a speed dating model. We know that mentorship is difficult in Malawi or everywhere else. People would not just like each other. I look at you, I just don't like you. It happens all the time. So we have the speed dating model where, you come in a room, you just snooze each other out. Just share ideas, just get a sense of each other, and then you go to the next person, you go to the next person, you go home, you think through it. Once you think through it, you see that, maybe I can, run with that guy. Or maybe I can, pair with that lady, So we try to make it as comfortable for you, because we've realized it's one of the most difficult components to do in terms of business growth. So as the cohorts grow, the ones that have been successful also become mentors and ambassadors to this instrument. So far, we have worked with over 85 companies in different thematic areas. Even during the COVID period, we really had to come up with a targeted approach to ensure that at least businesses don't die during COVID. So really, the space of access to finance has been opened up. And one of our biggest pride, I think, for this instrument is the change that we've seen in the Malawi market, which I also believe most of you here, if they are policymakers from the ministries, if my colleagues from the UNDP, country officers, my colleagues from the National Youth Councils and all of that, it's a model that we can all learn from. Because by the end of the day, it takes a whole village to make things work. You need to bring in all the partners across all the other instruments, and also you need to be intentional about what you want to do. For us, we put social impact first.
I'm sorry, I have to cut you.
Oh, sorry.
We have an entrepreneur, a youth entrepreneur on the table. I need to give a space also to talk. I just want you, Zantria, to share with us what are the biggest opportunities in the fashion industry in Malawi, and how did you get where you are? Can you share us your story? What do you do? How did you start? How are things going? What are the challenges? How did you cope? How do you address those challenges? And how do you sustain your business, your venture? Can you just share with us, and maybe, you don't know, you can encourage somebody in the building, and you can inspire somebody, and do something from what you share. So please share with us your story in your journey in the fashion industry. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. As he has said, my name is Zandria. I'm a fashion designer. I own House of Zandria, but I'm also a founder of All Shades of Beautiful. So House of Zandria is a fashion brand that creates high-end fashion. We create luxury fashion for both men and women, and we are currently the top leading fashion brand in Malawi. But apart from making high-end fashion, we also focus on bringing about social change using fashion. So we started an initiative called All Shades of Beautiful. So All Shades of Beautiful is basically a fashion initiative that is there to empower fashion designers with disabilities and some without disabilities. So we empower these fashion designers by giving them a platform to showcase their talents through our annual fashion show that happens once a year. And we also empower the fashion designers by our annual masterclasses, where we teach them different business skills on how to make a living out of fashion. But also we do have a fashion hub where all these fashion designers come in and sell the products to the nation. So I started House of Zandria when I was 18. I had just graduated from the university at the time. It was something that I had a passion for from the start, but my parents didn't approve. They didn't believe in fashion. So I studied something different at the university. But once I graduated, that's when I started my fashion brand. I started House of Zandria with just one dress. I made it by hand, took pictures, and posted it on Facebook. From there, that dress got attention. I started building the brand to where it is now, where it has escalated to other nations. We've dressed different notable celebrities, the late AKA Kanyimbao, so many different celebrities. So I think the first message I would like to give to my fellow youth today is to have a vision. So not everybody sees where you want to go. Like for me, my parents didn't see where fashion would take me, but for me, I saw what Zandria is going to be, which is a global brand that is still growing, a global brand that is going to create so many jobs for other youth, but they didn't see that. But because I had that vision, that has helped me to focus and still push and still get Zandria to where it is now, to where it's going. So the very first thing that I really wanted to tell you guys is to have a vision and a passion. And also, before starting a business, you think, I need tons of money to start a business. But for you to start, I don't believe you need tons of money. You need an idea. You need to start with whatever resources you have. Like I said, I started with one dress. So through that, I managed to build the brand to where it is now. Have I answered the
Yeah, thank you so much. Vision, you need to have vision. If you don't have vision, definitely don't know where you're going. And if you don't know where you're going, you're going to drown. So have vision, have passion, follow your dreams, act on your dreams, implement your dreams. Dreams will remain dreams if you don't implement them. Everybody dreams. Everybody wants something good. Everybody wants a good life, a better life. But dreams will remain dreams if you're not focused, if you don't have a vision, if you cannot implement your ideas, you remain where you are. So have a vision, follow your dreams, implement them to the book, learn along the way from others, how they do it. That's how you're going to make it. So that's a very beautiful a piece of advice from Zandria to fellow young people. But before we conclude, I just wanted to get reflections from you, be it a comment, be it a question. Yeah, my brother here.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Martin from Kenya. And first, I would like to appreciate Madam Director because she was able to tackle a question that was disturbing me on, first of all, when we talk about letting these young people access finance, first of all, we need to give them education to be able to manage the finance. However, there is this saying I always believe, I've seen also, the youth with ideas have no access to finances, and of course those ones with finances have no ideas. We need to merge that. Now, Madam Director, just a short one. There is a point you say that in Malawi, and I believe that could be in other countries as well, that the number of youth or the population of the youth is surging, and the institutions to accommodate them are a bit not adequate. What if we allow these youth to travel to different nations in Africa, because I believe we may have other countries that have institutions that can accommodate them. And of course, this is on your sponsorship as a country, because a young man cannot travel like from now Kenya to Malawi or from Malawi to Uganda to pursue a certain technical skill. So I believe from where you sit, you can liaise with other nations to get that. And as we also deliberate on financing the youth, we may also think about having the youth, other than taking them to the physical institutions, we also have now online because of the internet. We have technical skills that they can learn from online, YouTube and all that. What are you doing? In my perception, I may say we may start an online, institution whereby the youth can learn, for example, videography, photography, editing skills online, and they can do that on their own without necessarily looking for a white-collar job. Thank you.
All right, thank you for those questions. I was thinking you were making a presentation. Yeah, but the two issues, labor migration and mentorship or skills development through online platforms. So you're going to handle that. But let me have that hand over there. I'll come back to you. I've also seen you.
So, good morning, everyone. My name is Ndeikumba Drame and I'm from Senegal. So the question I just want to ask to them is, what local success story in entrepreneurship in Malawi could serve as a model to inspire and guide the next generation of entrepreneurs in another sector apart from fashion?
Okay. Success stories. I think my colleagues from UNDP will handle that. I'll come here again.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maria Ikongo, all the way from Namibia, the land of the brave. Mr. Director, you have spoken of the National Economic Empowerment Fund. Well, I'm more interested in that because in Namibia we have also what we call the Namibia Youth Credit Scheme. We actually give training and we also give access to funding to young people to start their businesses. My question is very brief. I would like to find out what are some of the effective strategies for loan collections you use to improve or to ensure high recovery rates of these loans. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. For the first time, a moderator is being asked the question, but Madam Director will take it. I'll hand it over to her. Here's my brother.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm very intrigued and happy with the conversation that we're having in this room. And my question would go to the director and also the young entrepreneur that we have in the panel. So if we keep in mind the global challenges that is currently happening in Africa, from economic instability, from political instability, then how again do we gap the bridge with the ongoing conversation and this pressure that we are trying to impose on young people, telling them that they have to create job opportunities and them not seeking job opportunities? That is one question I'm asking. Again, when young entrepreneurs are all of us trying to step up and create employments for ourselves, there is how we are trying to define success. And this success, again, comes along with a lot of mental issues. So again, for us as young people, how are we going to redefine success, especially for young people from informal settlements and the young people coming from these rural settlements? And my last question. Personally, I've always wanted to create a business for myself, but we have a lot of fear. So how do we break this fear from young people, telling them that, you know what, we are able to do this and you can do this? So that is my question. I'm Daniel Shirima from Kenya. Thank you very much.
All right. I'm seeing a lot of hands, but I'll allow the my colleagues here to respond, and I'll come back. But I want you to be as brief and as straightforward as possible. I'll start with you.
Thank you so much for all the questions and recommendations. I think I'll take one of the issues that is raised by my brother here as a recommendation. You're struggling with providing access to technical education. Why not look at the diaspora, look at the other countries to send? I think there are those arrangements. Mostly we have a memorandum of understanding with the different countries. It's an area that we can explore through our diplomatic missions. But to agree with you, yes, locally, we have turned to Odell, open distance and e-learning, as one platform to ensure that we expand access to learning platforms for young people. Of course, we also face challenges again, but we are working with the different partners to ensure that we have the infrastructure for young people to be able to use to acquire skills online if you cannot have physical spaces for them. There was a question on what are the strategies that we use to make sure that we collect, we recover the loans that are provided under the loan facility that we have. So what has been built into this loan facility is more or less what my two colleagues have talked about. It's gradual. Yes, you say you want loans to grow your business. But then we have a technical assistance that has built within the loan facility to make sure that you are able to gradually move from one level to another, and the resources are not just given like once for all, but you're given targets, and when you meet that target, you move on to the next level. So in that process of the technical assistance, you are assisted to make sure that the monies that you are receiving, they are put to good use, and you are able to pay back the resources. But the other component is we have loan officers closer to the people that are getting the loans. For example, our political system is divided in constituencies. So under this National Economic Fund, we have a loan or recovery officer under each and every constituency, and is able to work with the people that are getting the loans, the young people that are getting the loans, helping them in their businesses as they grow, but also making sure that every time and again they are reminded that they need to pay back the loans. So the other approach is we are more into group lending than individual lending. In that way, the groups act as collateral, but also they push each other to make sure that whatever money that they're getting as a group is putting to the individual businesses that they are saying they're going to do. And we use group pressure to make sure that the individuals are able to pay back the loans that they're getting. There's a question on how to break the fear among the youth. I think for me, what I see as the biggest challenge is the level where we tell young people to become entrepreneurs. They have gone through the education system. They are old enough. The expectation is to get a white-collar job. And boom, on the graduation day, we are telling that young person, go and become an entrepreneur. I think that's where we are getting it wrong. So my recommendation is for us to break that fear, we need to make sure that the issue of entrepreneurship starts at a very early age. As young as kindergarten, let's start talking of businesses. Let's start talking of making money. That way, young people will grow up understanding that they can make their own money, they can be business people and not look for a job. For us as government, on behalf of government, what we would always do is to make sure that we provide the conducive environment for young people to become entrepreneurs. We do the policies that would enable young entrepreneurs to grow. We make sure we have the programs, the skilling, the access to finance, the access to markets, the issues of registration and certification and everything else, the facilitation. We make sure we facilitate that young people have or are able to operate and open their businesses and grow. I think those were the questions that were directed to me. I'll leave it to the colleagues in UNDP. What are the success stories that we can bring apart from the one in fashion and design? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I'll jump on that one, but let me also just add to Madam's response. I think with regards to what our colleague from Kenya raised, it's really very important. There really is that problem of people with finance not having the ideas, and with the ideas not having the finance. I think one of the solutions is coming up with a vibrant ecosystem for startups. I know Kenya is way ahead with that. Nigeria is way ahead. Other countries are coming way before. But really, we need to have that ecosystem. And it starts with, these incubators, the ministry, bring people together, have a conversation, and then how do you link, the ideas to the finance and all of that. I know also Venture Capital for Africa is working in that space in different countries. So maybe there's some entity you can look up. They have an annual summit that happens in Cape Town. I think this year it's happening in around 27 to 28 in Cape Town. It's the early stage summit. So really, it really does help. To come back to our colleague from Senegal, so we have many success stories. I think I'll just share two other. We have one that's in the e-insurance, so this is animal insurance. So this is a niche in Malawi, it's new. So he's come up with a solution, really, that's providing insurance to, it's called death cover to animals, starting in the dairy sector, and it will move to other sectors. Because the dairy industry in Malawi is like one of the most performing, and the farmers are the most vulnerable. If you lose your cow, then you know, you've lost everything. So we have one that's come up with a very good solution, partnered with many insurance service providers. The name is Chiweto. And also we have one that's developing really good jewelry, state-of-the-art jewelry with artisans working in rural areas. So skilling them, you know, technical skills, and also being able to sell to high-end as well as also middle income buyers. So those are some of them, but we do have a lot of success stories across the portfolio. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, colleagues, for those responses. I was seeing hands. Yes. So many people at the back have joined us late. I think they're not raising hands.
Thank you so much. My name is Kabaka Omega. I'm Rwandan by nationality, and my question goes to the whole panel. The case is how you said that you're going to provide the fundings for the project, but my fellow youth fear to submit the project, or some of us, you told us that you first show us your first step, but the first step, maybe I work for the company called the WatchSoft. It is for software development, but the first step is to buy a server, and that server, it costs like $25,000, and you find that that step, it is really hard than you for us to start that first step, and we do our work as developers. And how are you going to help us to do our jobs, or how are you going to help us to work on that issue? And the second one is that we see many of countries sell their cultures, like Rome or Egyptians sell the pyramids, but when we come to those projects related to culture, maybe I want to initiate so that the letters we use are Latin number, we use from Arabic, and we find that what if we develop our own letters or our own handwritings? How are you going to work with us? It is not accepted by government to be or have not yet been voted by parliament to allow you to publish your work or your project. But when it is published or when it is known, it can provide some income to the government or to you in general. But because you haven't yet received that allowance to you to go ahead, you cannot do it on your own, and you still need the same right to do it, because it may provide some income or some good money. And the last question is, there are some big projects there are some big ideas requires the state to give you authority to do or to work on it. Maybe let me tackle on this. Though I'm working in developers, I'm a law student. I came up with an idea of including AI in our legal system. But the issue was that when you want to enter your AI in the system was being operating, that requires the government. The government is on to do it or to publish it. Then if I invest my little money I have to start that project, and when I submit it to the government, they say that according to the experience and whatever we have, we cannot, how are you assuring me that my money I have investing starting that project will be recovered, or I'm in safe condition so that when I make any loss, you will be the one to recover my loss? Thank you so much.
Right, interesting. At the back there, there's a hand there. Somebody is raising a hand there. Close to the camera.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joel Ojema, CEO and founder of Transport Technologies from Uganda. Basically, what we're trying to do in Uganda is basically enable SMEs access transport and logistics services easily. So we work so much with SMEs in Uganda. My questions are two. First one is, why is innovation around finance so slow on the continent as opposed to the rest of the world? Because what we're seeing now is there's a slow response towards finance to African entrepreneurs, because the models of financing that are available, the conventional models of financing, do not really work for the African entrepreneurs. One, because we've seen that the cost of finance in Africa is the highest all over the world. And that means many businesses cannot really operate to become legacy businesses because of the cost of capital and the impact it has to their sustainability. The second question goes to, because I come from a country that is regarded as one of the most entrepreneurial countries in the world, but you know that most of the businesses do not see their third or fifth birthday. And this is because of the underlying challenges around access to finance being one, and two, the sustainability around finance. So it goes to, what are we doing around addressing some of these challenges? Because these entrepreneurs are known to be the mostly trained entrepreneurs all over the world, but less funded. So what are we doing towards addressing these big challenges? Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm looking for a lady. Yes. This one.
Good afternoon. Oh, good morning. My name is Abjuk Singh Jose.
Can you put your mic? Yes.
My name is Abjuk Singh Jose and I'm Rwandan. So my problem goes to Zandria, the House of Zandria. There's a friend of mine, we did together secondary, and she was in designing. She used to design fashion clothes for the school, maybe when they're performing. And she was really good at that. But the problem is, like, when she finished high school, she didn't have finance to pursue her dreams. So, her parents wouldn't invest in her because mostly Rwandan parents, or maybe other African parents, don't understand muchly or more highly about fashion. Unless you succeed, that's when they start to understand. And now she joined the army to search for finances to go back to fashion. And by that time, she will be maybe like old enough. She has to start her dreams at an early age so that she can develop and she can enjoy her fruits when she's still young. So I was asking, maybe you can tell me some good news I would bring to her so that I can tell her today I made in the House of Zandria and she's willing to help you. So if there is any way, or maybe you can tell me the way I can find you so that she can be in connect with you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, my brother here.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I have a question to Zandria, but before that, I would like to join my case to many of entrepreneurs who are here with us. So if you allow me, just let me ask, there is any entrepreneur here in this hall? Those yeah, of course, those who have already started I mean, their businesses and they are trying to make it growing up. So can you just lift your hand, please? Thank you so much. So my question to Zandria is, okay, after starting the business and like trying by yourself to growing up and reach the level that you need to scale it up also. So how do you get the finance? I mean, it's good, all those theoretical process, but my question is going directly to you because you are kind of an example for us. So how you did, I mean, if you are in the level where you are now, it's because at some time you found a way to get the finance. So my question is how you did it, and what is the other ways to get the finance in case finance institution cannot help you anyway for the first time. Thank you so much.
Right. My brother in specs.
Well, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Tulo Mkhatadi from the Kingdom in the Sky, Lesotho. So my question, I'll break it into three. Do you encourage public-private businesses? Also, how can we foster relationships or partnerships between governments and businesses to accelerate the development and deployment of technologies in Africa? And what specific initiatives can we come up with between governments, businesses, and academia to to encourage economic growth?
All right, thank you. I'll pause there. I have some minutes. I believe they can respond to this. Then I'll come back for the very last time to take some questions and comments from you. But let me allow my colleagues to respond to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll start responding to some of the questions, I think especially from the government point of view. My brother there from Rwanda lamented that young people do have an idea, but for them to showcase just a first step that this idea is something that can be invested in, it's a challenge. So from our experience, government of Malawi, the different types of entrepreneurship support or programs that we have been having, we recruit young people at different levels for support. Even just an idea. We will ask you, give us an idea that you have. That idea will be scrutinized and help you with the first step that you need. If it means buying equipment for you, for the very first step, then we'll do it. And then we'll continue with that hand-holding with you and make sure that your idea has grown into a business. So the recruitment is at different levels. Just the idea, you are welcome, as long as the idea is feasible. Or there are those young people that are already 2 steps ahead. They are also recruited at a different level, and then they continue on that journey. Whether a young person should invest and then is not even sure that the investment is going to make returns because government would say no. I think for me, what I would say is that government has put in place institutions that would help young people in so many ways. The moment you have that idea, before you even start investing in it, it would be good to get technical guidance from those institutions that have been set up in different government ministries and departments so that you are guided properly before you even start an investment. And for sure, most governments are there to facilitate. I don't think we're there to frustrate what citizens are supposed to do or what young people can bring on the table. We are there to facilitate. That's why we have policies put in place. That's why we have institutions put in place just to facilitate youth development. So it would be ideal to make sure that you get in touch first with the necessary institutions to be able to be guided and supported accordingly, rather than you move 10 steps forward and then when you get back to that institution, you're told, no, but this could have been done differently. So that would be my recommendation. Thank you.
All right, I think I'll just jump in because it also adds in. I think to my colleague in Rwanda, I can just say thorough due diligence, what Madam has said. You know, you need to have thorough due diligence before you jump into anything that's going to cost you money, because it's very, very important. Otherwise, you can lose your life savings. People have lost their life savings because they're very excited, but end of the day, it's not worth it. I think for my colleague in Uganda, yeah, really, Africa is really slow in terms of the new innovative financing models. But one of the things is the high cost of upgrading systems and also the risky nature of giving finance. It's very risky. You need to, do a lot of work in the background. I think that's also why there's this growing venture capital ecosystem in Africa, and it's something that we need to, as also the youth and other enabling entities in the ecosystem to push for. At least we can push that. I know it's vibrant in other countries, in Uganda as well. The venture capital ecosystem is growing, so we need to push for this, and the other alternative financing models will come in. I know we're high on de-risking, so all of these will come in along the way. I think just to also talk a bit on private public businesses. So the sort of nature of businesses that we work with, we don't define the nature. But of course, in every country, there's a governing regulation behind public-private businesses. If you want to have an entity that works in that sphere, so it will be important at least to get an understanding of what are the regulatory frameworks behind that machinery, so that you can easily engage, because I know some of them are not even allowed to get access finance, some type of finance. So it's good really just to be very sure the type of entity that you have or you want to create before you venture into businesses.
Yeah, I think my colleague Chio has perfectly answered that question. Just to chip in a little bit in responding to our Ugandan brother who is working with SMEs on digital solutions. Yes, indeed. I think Africa is lagging behind in terms of innovative financing models. And yes, the cost of financing is very high. But from the way I look at it, I think it's an opportunity as well. Yes, we're behind, but we're facing new challenges like climate change as an example. It provides us as a continent and respective countries to leverage tools that we're coming up with, the Continental Free Trade Area, to come up with innovative financing solutions that respond to the typical financing challenges, but take advantage of our positioning as a continent. The nature that we have blessed across from Cape Town to Cairo. That's something that we can be able to utilize. And specifically for Malawi, in terms of answering this question for sustainability financing, that's why we came up with the Zantchito, to come up with a financing facility that can have an overview of a potential pipeline of clients that are coming through from the idea sector. I think our brother from Kenya also mentioned that there are tons of people that have got ideas, but they don't know where to take them. It's part of that question, part of that conundrum that we're trying to solve. Our development projects need to be responsive and inclusive to these challenges that we have to create sustainability within the larger ecosystem itself. Thanks.
From Rwanda? All right.
So first of all, I would say you're never too late to start anything. So your friend is not late to start fashion now. And the beauty of fashion designing is it's mostly a service. So you don't need tons of money to offer a service. You can start with an alteration. From alteration to raising money from that to start making clothes on a wider level. So for me, like I said, fashion was something that my parents didn't really believe in, but fashion is what is taking care of me right now. Everything that I have, everything that I do, it all comes from fashion. It pays for everything in my life. So you wanted to know how good fashion is. That's how good it is to me. It's a very big market. You look at a lot of brands. We have people wearing Gucci. I see Prada somewhere there. All these are fashion brands, and these are not broke people. These are people that have made it. These are people that are successful. So you have a lot of successful stories around you that you can see and tell that fashion is actually something that's profitable. It's something that can take care of you. I hope I've answered you. You've gotten it? Okay, I think we can talk even more after this. All right, thank you. And to you, you're from Uganda, you said? Cameroon, great. So from the beginning, the business has funded itself, so it's from profit to profit. But as you grow, you also start having more ideas on how to expand. So firstly, it was just a brand that offer services, creating services, but now we've ventured into more products. We've come up with innovative ideas like adaptive fashion. So adaptive fashion is fashion specifically for persons with disabilities. So we have people that fail to dress up themselves because of things like buttons, zips. So we've come up with things like magnetic buttons, where when somebody's dressing up, the shirt automatically closes. That's a market that's being valued at 400 billion in 2030, so that's a huge market. So I believe when you start a business, as you keep going, eventually you start having ideas, you start becoming more innovative on how best you can grow that company, how best you can finance yourself, apart from the other ways, you can access to finance. Yeah.
Right. We have 10 minutes to go, and I'll take a maximum of 3. Where are ladies? Ladies, are you here? Do we have ladies in the building? I can only see men raising hands. Okay, my brother.
Thank you so much. My name is Robert Bikwi.
You be quick, right?
Sorry?
Should be quick.
Yeah. I'm from Rwanda, and my first questions will go directly to Zandria. Actually, we didn't see the actual connection between her story in the beginning with this entrepreneurship and access to finance. We would like to see the actual beginning, and actually into fashion industry. I'd like to see how did it start, how did it grow, and how did this access to finance help you, and how did it help me likewise, us to somebody else in fashion industry same. And back to commenting, it is like it's my first time to see somebody just being so like parental within finances things. We are so glad to have people like you. We are so grateful, and what I would like to know also is what exactly procedures does a person pass through to get those funds, to get through the mentorship, and how long would it take, and what ideas do you most give to value? Thank you.
All right. There. Yeah, I'll come back to you.
Good day, everyone. Thank you so much, our panelists, for the great presentations. My name is Lisa Badenhorst. I'm from Eswatini. I'm also in business, and I'm also running an NGO. I'd just like to know, to our beautiful fashion designer, what were your actual challenges? I didn't get where you pointed your actual challenges that you faced, and how exactly did you address them? I think I'd want to hear from that, and also, maybe this is just a comment, when it comes to the aspect of how our parents back in the communities do not support certain types of careers, I would say we really need to have an intervention that is done in the communities in where we do provide parental skills or development in educating our parents on how it is important to support your child on the specific dream they want, because if your mindset is being shifted by your family, and then this will then lead you to not following your dream and also not being able to access any finances or anything that can make your business grow. Thank you.
All right. I promise that I'll give you an opportunity. Apologies, my gender. I'm finishing with ladies.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Patricia Modong, and I come from South Sudan, the last born of Africa. So my question is to the entrepreneurs in front, especially in the context of Malawi, how does the complexity and cost of business registration hinder youth-led startups? And for our director, what reforms have you so far made or could make so that the registration process is more accessible and supportive for young entrepreneurs?
All right, that's it. I'll ask my colleagues to respond. After that, we'll be wrapping up. I'm seeing a lot of hands wanting to comment or ask questions, but we've run out of time, so please.
So let me answer your question. You're asking about what I've benefited from this access to finance, right? The connection. So, like I said, apart from House of Zandria being a luxury fashion brand, we also focus on bringing about social change using fashion. So we have an initiative called All Shades of Beautiful. Basically, All Shades of Beautiful empowers fashion designers in 3 different angles, empowering them through fashion show, training them through our masterclasses, and having a fashion hub where these fashion designers sell the products. So we had applied for the Zantchito project as well, which they had funded us in the fashion show to give the exposure to the fashion designers, and currently they're also supporting the fashion hub that we had started for the fashion designers to sell the products. Does that make sense? Okay. My sister from Swaziland. So the biggest challenge right now we have in Malawian fashion is textile, fabric and textile manufacturing companies. We currently don't have a manufacturing company for fabric, so mostly we've been importing. But we are addressing that challenge by starting to build a factory that is going to be manufacturing fabric right there in the country. Yeah.
I will respond to 2 questions. One, what are the reforms that have been made to ensure that young people can register their businesses. So through the ease of doing business in Malawi, we have decentralized the registration process for young people. Initially, we used to have national offices do the registration, but now with the decentralization, you have these services even in the districts. So young people would be able, wherever they are, in whichever district they are, they should be able to register their business locally. But also at program level, we always recommend that programs that are supporting young people in entrepreneurship, they should have a component, a technical assistance within that project that would be able to support young people register their businesses. So there's that facilitation. We'll have that project facilitate registration, certification, and everything else, so that young people are not bothered with that aspect. There's a question on what are the procedures to get the finance and the mentorship. I'll speak broadly, but I'll ask the two colleagues who are managing the Zantchito and the Growth Accelerator also to speak about specifics for their programs. So generally it's competitive. As programs, they would send out call for proposals for young people to apply. Once those applications are received, then they are reviewed, and successful ones are called, or they are notified of their success. So what type of ideas are supported? I think for us it's any idea that has the potential, one, to generate income, because that's ultimately what we are looking for. They should have the potential to grow, they should have the potential to generate income, but also they should have the potential to create jobs for young people. So all those ideas that have, that have one of these three are likely to be considered for financing. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, the colleagues from UNDP will not speak. I have to cut you. Thank you so much, our discussants in front. A big round of applause for the discussants. It's been a pleasure discussing youth in trade, entrepreneurship, access to finance. We have heard the challenges, we've heard the programs that have been put in place. We have heard your concerns, your comments, your commentary. It's been a good discussion. Time was not enough, but I really thank you for patronizing this session. It's an honor for us to have you. And it's an honor to have an audience that was so participative, making valuable contributions. And we believe that you have grabbed one or two lessons from this session. When you go back, you implement some of the ideas that we've discussed here, but our discussants are available if you want some question to be responded to. They're here, so we can connect. It's about connecting, youth connecting every time, always. As long as you're here, it's about connecting. Thank you so much.
Just tomorrow. How do you find it? One person in the audience, can you give him the mic? Before I tell you what is going to happen Next. Mike.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that person? Okay.
How do you find Youth Connect so far?
My name is Previous Bashu. I'm from Liberia.
Liberia?
Youth Connect is educative.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's giving a youth vibe and
New
it's
vibe.
connecting.
It's connecting.
Yes.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Can I hear from this side? Just one more person. Can you give him the mic?
Sure.
Want to hear from a lady. You know, we have to balance this thing, eh?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
My name is Elvis Kadama from Uganda. Since yesterday, I've really seen Youth Connect trying to connect African solidarity.
Yeah.
Because from yesterday, the youth I've been seeing, I've been interacting with,
Yeah.
I don't see any difference amongst us.
Yeah.
Especially if I don't speak out on the language that I speak, or it's only English or French that is uniting us. So I see a lot of African solidarity and bringing us together. I've seen that Youth Connect is going to make the youth to move Africa forward.
Forward.
Thank you. Yes.
The youth to move Africa forward. Can I hear from any lady? Yes. Have a hand up here. Someone with a mic, please come in front here. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. My name is Nweshti Adeline. I'm from Rwanda. It is my first time coming in Youth Connect Africa.
How do you find it? Nice. First time.
Yeah.
Can you clap for her, guys? First time. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And there was a group I was in. They dropped the link, and I applied. Luckily, I was accepted. So I can say is that Youth Connect is really inspirational. Thank you.
Interesting. So what is going to happen in this room now? Thank you so much, guys. Can you clap for the 4 or 5 people that have, Yes, that's the aim. I mean, how do we make sure that we connect to each other and then know what is really happening as the theme, as you see it? Jobs for youth through innovating skills, How do we support each other? Because